Hello there folks, this is Jed McCabe of www.bodybuildingalert.com. Welcome to this short video presentation which has the rather long title of A Simple Way to Design Your Diet to Get Big Fast and Build Muscle Without Getting Fat. Now if you want to get big fast, don't fall into the trap of overcomplicating things. You need a well-planned muscle building routine, a good diet with a caloric excess, that means plenty of food, and also plenty of recovery time. These are the three components that you need. Now this presentation will teach you how to design a diet that suits you to get big fast, and you can also use the same method for gaining and losing weight, as I'll explain shortly. There's a couple of things you need to begin with. Firstly, you need a decent calorie counter, and secondly, you need a way of measuring your body mass index. Now your body mass index is your fat level. There's a couple of ways of doing it these days. One is you can get some scales which actually calculate your fat percentage, and the other way is to use the skin fold calipers. Now if I'm honest, the skin fold calipers is the most accurate way of measuring your fat percentage, and it's done by measuring the fat pinch on different sites around the body. If you get some skin fold calipers, there'll be instructions that tell you how to use them. The way the scales work is it passes a small electric current through your body, which is quite safe unless you wear a pacemaker, and from that it calculates your fat percentage. It doesn't matter too much which method you use, but you need to measure your BMI consistently. That means do the readings at the same time each time you check, because that way you'll get more meaningful results. Now don't worry, this probably sounds like a lot of work right now, but it's really not that much work. Anyway, so the first step in this program is to find out what your maintenance calorie intake is, and that's where your body weight remains constant. The reason we need to do this is that it's a baseline, and we need to establish that baseline, and then we're going to add and subtract food to that baseline, and this way we can put on muscle without getting too much fat. So here's how we do this. First of all, you need to spend 2 weeks where you're not trying to gain or lose weight. You weigh yourself at the beginning, you weigh yourself in 2 weeks, and ideally you want to be weighing the same. Now during this time you use your calorie counter to record everything you eat. Now please don't panic. Unless you eat an amazingly varied diet, this is not that difficult to do, and after a while you'll be able to do this by just looking at the size of the portion on the plate. Now the more work you put into this at the beginning, the more accurate your results will be after, so I do urge you to weigh your food portions carefully to begin with until you can easily tell by looking at them. Now after 2 weeks, as I say, you need to check your body weight, having checked at the beginning, and in this case we're assuming that your weight's going to stay the same, and that means you know what your maintenance calorie level is. The next thing you need to do is add 200 calories a day to that maintenance level. After another couple of weeks, check your weight and your body mass index again. In an ideal world you'll be heavier, and the body mass index reading should tell you if you've gained muscle or fat, or a combination of the two. Now very important through this process is you need to be working hard enough in the gym so that you're actually stimulating muscle growth. If you're not working hard enough to build muscle, then you're just going to get fatter. Now if nothing's happened after this 2 weeks of adding an extra 200 calories, don't panic. It just means we need to add a bit more food again, so add another 200 calories a day to your diet. So now you're eating 400 calories a day more than you were when you started this experiment. Eventually you'll get to the point where you just start getting heavier. There's no other way this can happen. You're adding food to your maintenance calorie level, and therefore you have to be getting heavier. And ideally, if you're working hard in the gym, you'll mostly be gaining muscle and not fat. Adding food gradually in this way gives the body a much better chance of adapting to the extra food, and it also reduces the risk of getting fatter because you're only adding small amounts of food on a regular basis. Let's move on. Now I want to talk about how you're going to break the food down into macronutrients. That means how much protein, carbohydrate and fat you eat. Just for the purpose of illustration and to demonstrate how you crunch the numbers here, we're going to imagine that your diet consists of 60% carbohydrate, 25% protein and 15% fat. As I say, diets don't have to be adhering to this exact template. This is just for illustration. When you start varying your diet, you might say go to 55% carbohydrate, 30% protein, and 20% of fat, and whatever. You can change the numbers to a certain extent just to see what works best for you. This is just to illustrate the point. Now, let's imagine that you weigh 180 pounds. The normal rule of thumb if you're trying to gain muscle is you need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So that means you'd be eating 180 grams of protein a day. Now, 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories, so that means that 720 calories of your diet each day will come from protein. Now, we've said at the beginning of this that protein is 25% of your total intake. That means that the total calories you'd be eating per day would be 2,880, because 720 is a quarter of that. Now, of that 2,880, 60% of that in this example would be carbohydrate, and that's 1,728 calories a day from carbs. Now, 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories, and that means you're eating 432 grams of carbs a day. Now, if we take our beginning figure of 2,880 calories, that means if you deduct from that 720 grams, which is protein, another 1,728, which is carbs, that leaves 432 calories a day from fats. Now, you need to know that 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, so that's going to be 48 grams of fat a day. Let's summarize this now. So in this example, you'll be eating 2,880 calories a day, broken down as 180 grams of protein, which is 720 calories, 432 grams of carbs, which is 1,728 calories, and 48 grams of fat, which is 432 calories. Now, you can break all your diets down in this way. Very important point is, don't forget, as you get bigger, your maintenance calorie level will go up because you're maintaining a bigger body. And you may also want to vary the percentage breakdown of protein to carbs to fat. As I mentioned before, the 60, 25, 15 breakdown in this example is just to explain the principle behind it. Now, if you wanted to lose fat after doing this, then you simply cut 200 calories a day and test and track as you go. Again, you're keeping an eye on your weight and also your body mass index. You want to make sure that you're not just losing weight, which is muscle. You need to be losing fat. And for that reason, it's still very important to work hard in the gym to try and hang on to the muscle gains you've made whilst cutting the amount of fat on your body. Now, diet is a very important part of muscle building, but it's not all there is to it. And here's a free resource I'm going to tell you about, which will teach you more about the training side of things. So what is it about the training side? Well, if you'd like to learn more, there's a free 70-minute video presentation called Bodybuilding Basics. If you visit www.bodybuildingalert.com, you can download that report in the next couple of minutes and learn how to train smart in less than 3 hours a week and make massive gains in muscle. Seriously, if you follow what this report teaches you, this could be your best year of muscle gains yet. Anyway, I wish you good luck. This is Jed McCabe of www.bodybuildingalert.com signing off, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.